me tell you the story. I was practicing then, so the pastor traveled from his town to meet me so that I could help him get a denture because he had lost all the front teeth upwards. God allowed that mark so that it won't be seen like a dream. What happened in his life? He was going to work one morning while flying the highway some kilometers to the place of work on a motorbike. The front wheel jammed. Maybe at 50, 60 kilometers per hour, the front wheel suddenly jammed, and then he was thrown off from the motorbike, and he crashed on the road and passed away, clinically dead. His glasses, the pair of glasses he was wearing, fell by the roadside, by the side of the road there. And he was taken away. He saw himself in another world, like somebody sitting down. And two giants came, call them giants. One came to the right, the other came to the left, picked him up, and began to lead him to a room. As he entered that room, he had an awareness that this was the judgment room. He didn't see anybody, but a voice was coming out from that room. And the first question was, what about that sister? As that question came, the picture of a sister that he was conducting deliverance on came there. All the interaction with the sister. And he said, Lord, you know, it was out of love I was praying for her. He gave some excuse, and there was no problem. That one passed on. Then the voice said again, what about the radio set? Immediately, another scene came. There was somebody living close to him who had a faulty radio set and wanted to go and work on it. And he told the person, give me, I have somebody that I can give it to. A technician that will do the work. And that person gave it to him. He gave the technician, and after a long time, this other individual came, the owner. What about the set? And he just told the man to excuse him, to do away with him. He is working on it. It will soon be ready. The way somebody will just give excuse so that you don't disturb him again, don't pester him. But as that question was asked, what about that radio set? The whole scene came out. A conviction came upon him. You didn't know the state of the radio set, and you are saying that he's working on it. He couldn't answer. And he told me that at the side of the room, at one corner of the room, was like a replica of himself. Looking like himself. And that one said, I think I told you. Like the conscience. I think I told you. He couldn't give any answer to why he just spoke to that person that way. As that one passed by, he said, what about the office? And the one of the office happened the previous day. That previous day, the time for fellowship had reached, was about to approach. Around 4 p.m., his boss sent the messenger to come and call him in the office. While the messenger came to him and said, Oga is calling you, he packed all his baggage, everything. Tell him I have gone. And he tiptoed, entered his motorbike and left. Tell Oga, the boss, I have gone. So when he said, what about the office? The whole scene came up again. He couldn't talk. He said he had not gone, but he said he had gone. Now what about while he was going? If that boss had seen him, what impression would he have had about Christians? His tongue said cleaved to the roof of his mouth. And that second of him was saying, I think I told you. I think I told you. And it seemed that the judgment was not over. He was not condemned. And those two men, those two huge creatures, turned him again and began to lead him out. As he was going out, the awareness of one that has gone to hell just came upon him. But a thought suddenly dropped. I call it out of the body experience. God set that stage to teach us about how meticulous he is with judgment, with righteousness. As he was now heading to judgment, to hell, as it were, a thought dropped in his heart. Remember that this morning, before you left, you asked God, if there's any way I have offended you, please forgive me. Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
God made him to make a prayer that one doesn't normally make. Do you normally make that kind of prayer every day?
Yes.
Every day you are saying, if I've offended you, then you're not living right. It takes somebody who is not living right to be praying that prayer every day. If you are living right, most of the time will be praising God, Lord, take care of my journey. That's the thing you will say almost every time. It will take some condemnation on you to begin to say, Lord, is there any way I've done wrong? Forgive me. It's not a prayer a Christian makes every time. But God made him to make that prayer that morning before he left his house. So that thought just dropped. But you said this morning, Lord, if there's any way I've offended you, please forgive me. And then as that happened, he said, yes, as if he wanted to tell the angels to take him back. But when he said that, he left that realm. He wasn't in that realm again. He came to that spot where the accident happened. His body was no longer there. But he told me he saw his goggles. So God made him to see the goggles. He floated from that place to his village. His village, a few kilometers from that place, his body wasn't there. There was a dog trying to pull him to the hospital, to the morgue. And he just went there. As he reached there, he saw his lifeless body. He said, I just entered through my nose, and life came back. Out of the body experience. The road traffic officers saw him as having died. There was no pulse, nothing, so they took him, and his body was just dumped. Many of the morgues used to get filled up. He was dumped on the ground there. He entered, and life came back. I saw it as a thing God programmed, planned to teach us about how meticulous He is with righteousness. That just giving some excuse and continuing when the excuse is false could cost you eternity. If not God having prepared him, we might have buried him and said, he has gone to heaven. We'll just go and meet him in heaven. Meanwhile, such things that look so minute have taken him to hell. In the school, as students, you are to live as Christians. Let your yea be yea, your nay be nay. Don't try to bring up some reasons that you are not sure of in order to push somebody away. Tell somebody something is being done when the thing is not being done.